The popularity of knowing where the first Mass happened in history has been an easy way to trivialize history, but this case study will not focus on significance of the site of the first Catholic Mass in the Philippines, but rather, use it as a historiographical exercise in the utilization of evidence and interpretation in reading historical events.
Good day, everyone. Today we will talk about the two primary sources that historians refer in identifying the site of the first Mass.
Yes, one is the log kept by Francisco Albo, a pilot of one of Magellan's ship, the Trinidad. He was one of the 18 survivors who returned with Sebastian Elcano on ship Victoria after they circumnavigated the world.
The other one was account by Antonio Pigafetta. Pigafetta is like Albo was a member of Magellan's expedition and an eyewitness in all events, particularly in the first Mass.
How about we will start the primary source of Albo's log. So, on March 16, 1521, they sailed westerly and they saw land towards the northwest, but they did not approach it. And later they found its name was Yunagan.
And on the same day, they went southwards to another small island and named it Suluan, and there they saw some canoes.
Yes, and after that, they sailed westward to an inhabited island of Gada, where they took in a supply of wood and water.
I do agree, but Albo did not give the latitude of that islands, but in Pigafetta's testimony, that seems to be the Aquada and Humanhon.
From that island, they sailed westward towards a island named Salani, and it was known to have gold.
Yes, Salani, or Pigafetta calls it Ceylon, and it was in the island of Leyte.
Yes, and after that, they turned southwest to a small island called Mazawa.
And the people of that island were very good.
Yes, and the Spaniard planted across the Panama mountaintop.
And from there, they were shown the three islands to the west and southwest, where they were told there was much of gold.
Then they followed to the coast of Silani in a northwest direction, where they saw three small islands, and from there they sailed westward some 10 leagues, and there they saw three islets where they dropped the anchor for the night.
And in the morning, they sailed southwest, and there they entered a channel between the two islands, the Matan and Cebu.
Yes, in Cebu, where they stayed many days and obtained provision and entered into a peace pact with the local king.
So, it must be noted that in Albo's account, the location of Mazawa fits the location in the island of Limasawa.
Yes.
And also, Albo does not mention the first Mass, but only the planting of the cross upon the mountaintop, from which could be seen from three islands to the west and southwest, which also fits the southern end of Limasawa.
Yes.
Now, discuss Pigafetta's testimony on the route of Magellan expedition.
On March 16, 1521, Magellan's expedition sighted a highland named Zaman, which was some 300 leagues westwards of Landrones, now the Marianas Island.
The following day, they set up two tents for the sick members of the crew and had so killed from them, and the name of the island was Humono or Humonhon.
On the same day, Magellan named the entire archipelago the island of St. Lazarus. The reason is it was Sunday in the Lenten season when the gods were assigned for the raising of the Lazarus from the dead.
On March 18, they saw a boat coming towards them with 9 men in it.
And an exchange of gifts was effected.
Yes, and Magellan asked for food supplies, and the men went away, promising to bring rice and other supplies in 4 days.
And after that, they saw some indication that there were gold in the island of Humanhon. Thus Magellan renamed the island and called it the watering place of good omen?
Yes, and Magellan's expedition stayed 8 days at Humonon from March 17 to March 25.
And on March 25, it was the feast day of Incarnation of the Feast of Annunciation.
Yes, and an accident happened to Pigafetta, which he fell into the water but was rescued.
And he attributed his narrow escape from death as a grace obtained through the intercession of the Blessed Virgin Mary and her feast day.
So after leaving Honhon, they lead toward the west-southwest between four islands, namely Sinano, Yunanghan, Ibuson, and Albarian.
Yes, they left Humanhod, sailing westward towards Leyte.
On March 28, they anchored off an island where the previous night they had seen a light or a bonfire, and that island is a 25 leagues from the Aquada and is called Mazawa.
And they remained 7 days on Mazawa Island.
Yes.
On April 4, they left Mazawa bound for Cebu.
Yes, and they was guided by the king of Mazawa who sailed with his own boat.
Took them past 5 islands, namely Silon, Bohol, Canighan, Baybay, and Katighan.
Yes, and from Gatighan, they sailed westward to the 3 islands of the Camotes group. They are namely the Puro, Pasihan, and the Punson.
And from Camotes Island, they sailed southward towards Zubu.
Yes, and on April 7, they entered the harbor of Zubu, and it had taken them 3 days to negotiate the journey from Mazua northwards to the Camotes Islands and then southwards to Cebu.
So, it must be pointed out that both Albo and Pigafetta's testimony coincide and corroborate each other. But Pigafetta gave more details on what they did during their week-long stay at Mazawa.
I do agree. Now, we will discuss about the Pigafetta and 7 days in Mazawa.
Yes, on March 28, they anchored near an island where they had seen a light the night before. A small boat came with 8 natives.
And then the natives paddled away.
But 2 hours later, larger boats came, one of which the native king sat under the awning of mats.
Yes, an exchange of gifts effected.
And in the same day, the Spanish ships weighed anchor and came closer to shore, anchoring near the native king's village.
Next day, on March 29, Magellan sent his slave interpreter ashore to ask the king if he could provide food supplies.
In reply to the king himself came a boat with 6 men on it.
Yes, and another exchange of gift was made.
The native king and his companions returned shore, bringing them 2 members of Magellan's expedition as guests for the night.
I do agree, and one of the 2 was Pigafetta.
Yes, and on March 30, Pigafetta and his companion had spent the previous evening feasting and drinking with the native kings and his son.
And on March 31, early in the morning of Sunday, Magellan set the priest ashore with some men to prepare for the mass.
Later in the morning, Magellan landed with some 50 men and Mass was celebrated, after which a cross was venerated.
I agree, and in attendance both at Mass and the planting of the cross were the king of Mazawa and the king of Butuan.
On that same afternoon, Magellan asked 2 kings which ports he should go into in order to obtain more abundant supplies of food.
After that, on April 1, Magellan sent his men ashore to help with the harvest.
But no work was done on that day because the 2 kings were sleeping off their drinking about the night before.
After that, on April 2 and 3, they worked for the harvest.
Then on April 4, they leave Mazawa bound for Cebu.
Yes, and it must be pointed out that later on, after Magellan's death, the survivors of his expedition went to Mindanao and seemingly went to Butuan.
And in this instance, Pigafetta vividly described a trip in a river.
But note that this account already happened after Magellan's death.
Yes, and based on my research, after analyzing the primary sources from Pigafetta and Albo's account, the researchers lead to the conclusion that Antonio Pigafetta's account is more firm than Albo.
And the Chronicle of Pigafetta was one of the most cited documents by historians who wishes to study the pre-colonial Philippines.
So I think we're able to utilize the ideas and opinions of everyone here. So thank you and God bless us all.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.